Before this video starts, I want to remind you of an aphorism that you've likely heard before when you were young, and that is that a bystander is a bully. Monkey D. Garp is evil. Yes, evil. Not morally complex, evil. Okay, that was a bit of hyperbole, but his actions are inexcusable. One Piece spoilers ahead until chapter 1159. You have been warned. Monkey D. Garp is the definition of wolf in sheep's clothing. He is touted as the hero of Marines and presented as a bastion for good, yet actively supports the heinous actions of his superiors. Let's break down his epithet, hero of the Marines. If you were to look up the definition of the word hero, it would come up as a person who is admired for their courage and outstanding achievements or noble qualities. The hero is typically the good guy. Think someone like Spider-Man or Superman, who stands up for justice and fends off evil while protecting the weak and innocent, unless you're Garp, of course. I call Garp evil because, as I said earlier, he enables and supports a government which in self enables and supports horrific acts such as slavery, SA, and genocide. That government being the world government. Now, for you to truly understand the sort of evil this man is working for, I'd like to give a few examples of their previous actions. First, let's start with the Ohara incident. The Ohara incident, also known as the annihilation of Ohara, is one of the most tragic and pivotal events in the series of One Piece. Now, this incident took place 22 years before the main storyline inside the island of Ohara. Now, the cause of this incident is that the island of Ohara was renowned for its scholars who are researching the Void Century, which is essentially a forbidden and erased period of history that the world government wants to keep quiet. When the world government found out about their research, they ordered a buster call, which is essentially a military strike to annihilate the island and its residents. This resulted in almost all residents, including the archaeologists, being killed, and destruction of historical texts. Not evil enough? Well, check this out. Next, we have the native hunting competition, which is also referred to as the local hunting competition. Now, this is a genocide contest orchestrated by the world nobles, which are high-ranking officials within the world government, which the Marines work for. Bartholomew Kuma, Ivankov, and Blackbeard are known survivors of such atrocities at the God Valley incident, which ties perfectly into my next point. Now, the God Valley incident was an event instigated by the pirate Rox D. Zebek in an attempt to save his wife and young child who were enslaved by the celestial dragons, and likely to participate in the native hunting competition as tribute. Now, both the Roger Pirates and Marines got involved in this incident for reasons of their own, but I mainly want to focus on Garp. Now, Garp was involved not because of the horrific acts or to stop the hunting, but in fact to protect the celestial dragons, and mainly because he wanted to settle a personal grudge that he had with Gold D. Roger. I repeat, the man only got involved because he wanted to settle a rivalry between him and Roger, not to protect the slaves. In fact, he was there to protect and assist the slavers, as it was his job. Do you now see why this man is horrible? I mean, yeah, he says he doesn't support the celestial dragons and what they do, but his actions speak otherwise. And as they say, actions speak louder than words. Garp is morally corrupt, if not worse than many of the pirates that he claims to hate and fights against. What makes Garp especially worse compared to other Marines is his knowledge of the world government's misdeeds and dark secrets. Now, it's indicated that Garp is aware with his refusal to become promoted to Admiral, as well as the conversation that he had with Ace when trying to convince him to join the Marines as a child. And with that awareness comes his guilt. It would be different if Garp was ignorant of their actions. However, he is not. He is very cognizant. He knows that the world government aids and abets slavery and the killing of kids and genocide, but he doesn't care enough to do anything about it. The issue with Garp is that his actions are excused with the, oh, he's trying to change the system from the inside, but he really isn't. While yes, he is training the next generation of Marines, such as Kobe, Garp fails to address the main issue of the world government, which is the celestial dragons. And you want to know why he fails to do that? It's because he works for them. In fact, Garp would have done more good for the world if he was a pirate akin to Luffy or Whitebeard. Or instead if he simply joined the Revolutionary Army like his son. Those guys fight for freedom and equality while protecting islands under their flag. Leaving the world government would also allow him to combat these oppressors. But guess what? He doesn't. Garp isn't an angel. He isn't even a hero. He's just a sociopathic coward who only cares for his own and is too much of a kitty cat to use his strength for actual good. If anything, he's just like Kizaru, on the borderline.